Are you acting?
Well, we need somebody.
That's all we could come up with, okay?
Good choice.
Way to go, Larry.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sister Cities Commission meeting. It is 5:15 PM, Monday, February 3rd, 2025. First item is to call to order. We're going to do roll call. We'll start here on my right.
Ron Wendinger.
Ryan Filson.
Larry Mack.
John Vorwerk.
Carolyn Marty Smith.
Jane Mayday Hockey.
And we have the mayor ex officio, Kathleen Backer, here in presence. So item 3 is the election of officers. So Tom had to resign with his newly elected position with the council. So we're going to be looking for a chair to move forward here for 2025 for the Sister Cities Commission. And our vice chair is not here tonight. That is Dick Seabooth. So I, Larry Mack, am taking the chair role here until we appoint a chair tonight. Is there any interest from the commissioners to be the chair for the Sister Cities Commission?
I move that we table this for at least a month until we have the rest of the people here. We just don't have enough.
I will second that motion.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to table the chairman position tonight for the Sister Cities Commission. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Motion carried. So we are going to go on to item 4 would be approval of the minutes from the January 6, 2025 meeting. Hope you all have had a chance to review it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as posted.
I second that.
So we have a motion and a second for 4.1 meetings. Any discussion on any items? Everybody signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we've got item 5, financial report. So I just kind of see one disbursements there, and that was for our Sister Cities membership for the National Sister Cities, but I'd entertain a motion if anybody.
So move.
I will second that.
We've got a motion and a seconded for the financial report. Any other discussion? Let's signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meetings are approved. Minutes or financial report is approved. So item 6 is the Hans Joseph Culture Exchange Program. So the outbound Hans Joseph intern interviews are scheduled for Wednesday, February 5th. I know I'm going to be there present. We've got John Vorwerk and Jane Mayday. So we will have 3 commissioners. And Dick Seabooth will be gone, but he gave his recommendation by email. But we will conduct that meeting at 4:30 here at City Hall on Wednesday, February 5th. 2 days from now. Today is the 3rd, Jane. So anybody have anything else to add in regards to that? And then we will go to item 6.2 would be the inbound Hans Joseph intern. We have 3 applicants were submitted from Ulm, Germany for the 2025 Hans Joseph Exchange Program. And we've got to review applications and select an intern to travel to New Ulm. So we've got 3 resumes. And has everybody had a chance to look at the resumes or more in those regards? And maybe we entertain some discussion on that. And anybody have thoughts for employers possibly within the community?
Well, we've gone to the city, what, the last couple of times, haven't we?
We have.
And that was at Samuel is looking at the brewery possibly, right?
That's where he's got a strong interest in.
Okay.
And I do know that August Shell Brewing has done,
They've done it in the past.
they've hosted a couple times. They've had a couple of the gals. And I do know that the brewery has done past brewery work with the Gold Uxton Brewery in Ulm, Germany.
Okay.
And he is actually employed there currently. So, but I don't know.
Maybe we should reach out to Shells and see if they would be interested in him as a candidate for an intern,
Okay.
and then move forward from there. When we have everybody here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not usually here at this time during the year. Do we select the people who come from Germany? I thought
No,
that was,
no,
they
well,
select it,
we
right?
make-
These are the top three, I guess.
Yes.
And then,
So-
okay, but we don't pick that person,
Well, we try to find a
job for them, right?
you know.
But we don't pick the person. So it could be any one of these three
You know,
people that we have here,
you know,
right?
and it could be, you know, we don't know the availability of, you know, if Shells has someone to work with him for his qualifications, you know, and so it'd be nice to possibly have a couple alternates, but I'd be willing to call Ted and ask him if you would like,
Yeah. that
and
would
then
be
we could
nice.
report that back for March.
Do we make recommendations of who we feel would be best, or?
Well,
we've ever done
we've
that.
kind of got to tailor, we got to find a job,
Oh,
you know, so and we could look at the other applicants here and if.
One of them was like city administration, wasn't it?
Both of them.
Both, I know, one was,
Yeah.
okay. That's why, yeah, Samuel stood out to me when I saw it was just something different, and we haven't done Shells in a little while.
Right.
Well, I think it would be nice to have a look at a Plan B too, just
Yeah,
in
well.
case, you know. So,
So have we ever done anything with the county, any of the county office here in New Ulm? And is that a possibility?
With the county,
Yeah.
I guess we'd have to check in with
I'd-
Sam Hanson.
Yeah,
Sam
administrator, yeah.
yeah, county administrator.
I mean, sometimes that's the same level as city positions, so maybe that's an option too.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to know for future, you know, whether it's, you know, it's one of these, you know, candidates here, but I think we should bring at least a couple options to the table for we could act on this for the first meeting in March. Because there we'll be acting on the candidates when we do the interviews on Wednesday also. So then we can kind of tidy this up for a plan in March.
So, acting chair, what do we do if all three of these, like, let's say Linda is looking at social services, and there could be a match at the county level, like Jane said, but we also might be able to find one for Samuel and for Janice. So how do we refine that decision?
I don't think we've ever done that part. I think, what was her name? Frau, what's her name from Germany? She used to pick,
Mary?
she used to pick the person and send it, and then we found the job that fit. I don't think we've ever, unless somebody else knows, I don't think we've ever weeded it down to a fewer number of people. I don't think that was us. Does anybody else know?
But we've also hosted two candidates also, you
And it's about,
know, in years past.
no,
You know, we've had two candidates in a year through Sister Cities.
that one we had that worked with Chris, I don't think that was, I think we've only always had, unless somebody else knows something, I think we've only always had one.
Okay.
Because finding houses,
That was the
The host families.
because we had that.
Families, yeah.
Yeah, host families. Because
Well,
we had that one that Chris wanted last year, wasn't it? That was two people we had to find
Correct.
places for.
Correct.
And this, the guy who likes the brewery, it's a guy, that was always a harder thing to find a
host for.
host
Host for.
family for.
Have any of the commissioners given any thought to, or any options that they might know of, or can start thinking of some options for, you know, ask some people if they're interested in hosting too, you know, so we can find some hosts potentially. And, you know, we should know that a little bit if it's available, you know, for March also, so.
willing to check around, and I'm sure some of you
We
have
will.
contacts that we can look at this.
Well-
We'll come back in March with some potential housing and then job opportunities.
So Kathleen, you're going to check with Sam Hanson, County Administrator, if there's an opportunity there that they would be willing to contribute. And then I will reach out to Ted Marty with the brewery and see if he's interested. And I can pull off his resume here and email that to Ted at the brewery, and so he could review it to see if it's something that they're interested, if it works, and then we can discuss timelines for March. Any other further discussion on the inbound? Or anything that might have stuck out? I mean, they're all highly educated, and they've all been very busy and eager and ambition. That's how I'm gonna interpret it from the resumes.
And we're fortunate to have 3 willing and interested in coming.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Even our outbound, one that was previously from 5 years ago is still have an interest and still, connected with our community, so. All right, we're gonna go back to anything else on the inbound and outbound? We'll go on to number 7 here is our old business. We've got 7.1 recognition award from John Borick and Brian Filzen. So we've got the 2024 recognition recipient has been selected. Select the date and location to hold the awards. Regular meeting will be held at the chamber following meeting, travel, and location of reception. So,
Well, I contacted Kegel as far as what they had for those dates. The first Monday of next month is booked.
okay,
She penciled us in for the following month on first Monday of April. I did get a hold of Kim Hansen, Keith's daughter, and told her what was going on, and she said the April date would work fine for their family.
okay.
And I told her I'd let her know what we decided.
And that's for the first Monday of April.
Yes.
What's the date here? I'm just gonna-
7.
That's the 7th? April 7th? So, any other discussion with the commissioners if April 7th would work for our recognition?
Good.
And then we'll do the Kegel Club for our normal meeting at 5:15, and we'll probably adjourn about 5:45, and then we'll go to our reception.
And then have Lisa contact the friends, and then visit
Yeah, we'll
potluck
have
again.
Lisa Peisel contact the Friends of the Sister Cities Commission, and then it's traditionally, we've been bringing potluck, and then the Kegel Club will have water and pop, and we'll have our normal appetizers that they prepare for us.
Chair, it was suggested to me by Lisa that when we would have these types of combined events going forward, that we would consider having the meetings here so that they can be recorded.
Okay.
And so that's something we might want to check into and before we firm up that we would split.
Okay.
I mean, or have them both, the meeting
Sure.
and the reception there. We might have to meet here and then have a 10-minute break to get out.
That's fine.
That would work.
That would work. I mean,
Can we just record it out there?
No, here.
Here.
What I'm talking about going out there, can we just need a recording of it? Doesn't have to be on TV, does it, or?
I'm not sure.
Because I was
because
just,
Got the-
that's where I was kind of reading where she's talking about hold a regular meeting at council chambers and then bring it,
I like one location.
Okay.
Record it.
Well, we can bring it back
I mean,
on.
if we just have to record it, let's just record it. I mean, we can do that easy enough.
Okay.
It's a pretty quick meeting too, so.
Do they have somebody mobile here?
Well, we could ask our technician back there if he'd be willing to record mobile, possibly.
Well, is that something that we can,
We could
firm up
just-
at the March meeting?
Yeah, we could print that up in March.
And
Yeah.
that way, we can check with Lisa just to find out what the issue was.
Sure.
And get clarification going forward.
Okay, so we will get better clarification in March. about firming up where the meeting will be held, whether it's one meeting and then the
I'd
reception.
have
at
to
a-
walk here first and then walk out there, so that's gonna take me a while to get there. So you guys are gonna have to start without me, am I?
I'll give you a ride.
No,
you a
I'm
ride.
walking.
We know you're a fitness buff too.
This doesn't happen by accident, Larry.
All right. So, any other, and John, you've got the plaque in,
I haven't ordered it yet because I
In-
wanted to make sure the date was going to be, because we do put the date on the plaque.
okay,
And
so,
that is firmed up now. We can use that date.
yes,
Okay, so I'll get it ordered.
we'll go for April 7th. So I think we've thought of all that for the item 7. And new business is item 8, 8.1, German Language Day Camp 2025. Carolyn Marty Smith, Ellie Sweeney, Jane Mady Holke. So we have,
We have Peter here with us, the German language teacher from Public High School, correct? Peter, do you want to go on that mic there and talk to us about the two things? And you can ask us all kinds of questions that we maybe won't be able to answer today, but we can make our plans. And I see that you have something too, but let's do the German, if I can, let's do the German language camp
Right.
first. I told him that Tom Schmitz's cousin is coming to spend 2 weeks this summer, and I gave him the date of when she's going to come. And so she would be like an assistant at one of the helpers. I thought that might be kind of fun, and I would let her meet some kids in town, which I also thought would be a great idea. So we talked about that, so no firm date yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of the state. I do a big bike event in Iowa, Ragbri, the last week of that July, but prior to that, it should be good. Yeah.
So we have that.
okay,
And I told Pete, we could, how many days we just, there's no set date for how many days we would do, or even
Yeah.
set times. We
Sure.
could do more, we did mornings from 10 to 12, 2 hours is what we did the last time. But that would be up to you.
No, that sounds good for sure, and I'd be willing to. We have a German 2 class, and my guess is there'd be a couple of kids interested in helping out, which would be super fun
Wouldn't that be a
to get
nice
those guys going. And I
addition?
did want to
I'd love that
consider.
idea.
I mean, a little bit of payment would be nice if we could throw it their way. But haven't talked to them about it. Just wanted to check in with you guys and see what the story with that is. But
We
that'd be
like
great.
that idea, right? Yes, I think so too. Absolutely.
So,
when you just say payment, I mean, what do you think,
well, I don't know.
just looking for,
What do
we
you
can talk
think?
about this,
What
you
do
know.
we? Yeah. What's it going? What would be just to make it a little bit more attractive for those kids, especially given that they're going to have jobs and they're going to be doing stuff already. I don't think it would have to be much, but just something to say, hey, we really appreciate you, and I'm kind of serious about getting some people to sign up for it. I don't think it would have to be much.
so we're probably looking at what, 3 to 5 days for
Yeah,
teaching the
3 to
class?
5 days for a class. Brian, do you remember what we paid the last time you were on the commission with me?
Don't remember.
I don't know. I truly do not remember how much, but I can find that out.
Yeah, again, not much. Anything would be appreciated, I'm sure,
Little
from the
stipend.
even stipend, even gift card or something along those lines. I'm sure they would be happy with. Yeah.
And we did lunches with them, but we don't have to do that again. I went to like Hy-Vee and those places, and they donated sodas for us, and we did a lunch every day. We don't have to do that either. And then we had a little presentation for the parents the last day.
Okay.
Well, I mean, should we take this a little further discussion in March, maybe as a commission, and we could put up a budget? I think, then we have a full, when we have
Yeah.
a full quorum.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we can keep this as an action, and
Sure.
roll out, and once we establish a budget, and then whether it's going to be 3 days or 5 days, and, and if you think you can get a couple students that would
Yeah,
be
and then
interested?
once we have some of that set up, then I would throw it out to I have one section of German 2, which is 20 kids, and then we have 2 kind of small sections of 1, which is a total of about 30. So that's 50 kids who are kind of taking the language right now, and I would have to assume that a couple would be interested.
Yeah. And I think it would be great just to get their interaction, because
Yeah,
they might
agree.
be interested for our outbound,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for
for
sure.
futurely.
Our message out there more, yeah.
Because, we need to get connected, because it's hard to find candidates and,
I agree. We track that, and I, really throw that out there and really try to encourage them to go after it. But there's that little interim time where, between when they graduate and then when maybe they can kind of go after the Hans Hughes
Yep.
program. So,
yeah,
yeah,
until they're 20, 21, but, just
Yeah.
to keep us in mind and if they have perhaps ideas how to, keep the next generations, intertwined,
yeah, for sure.
stuff like that, and maybe they want to be commissioners one day,
There you go.
And
Somebody
chairman-
would, yeah.
And maybe our intern will be here at that time, so they can have an opportunity to intermingle with the intern that comes from
Yeah,
Germany.
sounds good.
I'm just so happy that we got you this year, because last year, remember, we tried to do this.
Yeah, we tried, and then
you
it
were
just-
already
it
booked for
didn't-
the whole
yep.
summer by the time we started working on this.
How
So
many
now we just
stud-
have to find a place that we want to do it. I was thinking Turner Hall. Does anybody else?
How many students were you thinking that would be interested in?
Good
joining?
question. This is the first step in it, so I haven't talked to anybody about that.
We would have an idea, would help us to set the price or whatever.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just looking, if it's just 3 to 5 days, couple hours a day, I would have to assume that there would be plenty available, at least, so it's not an availability. And then I would say there would be, I'm sure there would be a number interested. So we'd probably have to do like some sort of, issue where we, decide who's going to be involved, because too many would be,
Get a
That'd be
head
great.
count and
yeah.
about how many,
Yeah.
I think that would be up to you.
Okay, I'll throw it out to them and, go from there, sure.
Okay. Yeah, and if you could, assume you got Lisa's contact, Peisel, you could email her and she
Yeah.
can put that on here and we can discuss about that for
Sure.
March's meeting, and that if you have 2 or 3, whatever, students
Okay.
interested, and
Yeah.
we keep that, part of it open for discussion for March, and we can set a budget.
Good.
Okay,
And then you have a part two that you
yeah.
wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so, just a little background. I originally was hired here as a German teacher in '93, and so I've been here for 32 years at New Ulm High School, and, been through a lot of changes with the program. We had another teacher who kind of had it for a while, and I was out for about 10 or 15 years of it, teaching just English. But then when we built the new school, I took over the program again, and we've been kind of building it up. And some kids have been throwing out interest in a trip, a summer trip, which is pretty common. I've done 3 student trips in the past, in the 90s, early 2000s, and they were nice. But I'm thinking we need to, why not sort of revise that? And it seemed like, given that Ulm, if Ulm is the hub of the wheel, any direction you go, an hour or less is worth going to. And I was thinking, why would it be possible to do a trip where we home base in Ulm and do family stays, home stays potentially, and or in the past we've done youth hostels, the Jugendherbergen, where we stay at that. We've actually stayed at the Geschwister-Scholl Jugendherberg in Ulm. It's great. But that's a little, I don't know, that the youth hostels, I don't know if that's exactly where kids want to be necessarily, but there's that option. And just wanted to see what the Sisters Cities Commission is all about. Like, mainly it was contacts. Are there quite a few contacts that you guys have with Ulm, Germany? And
Do.
Well, we do have a fair amount of past people that we've hosted, and then their families in the Ulm area. I don't know if our past students would be interested to help host and or their families.
Yeah.
But we'd have to keep the dialogue and kind of go, how many students are you're thinking?
Exactly. And so this is totally all starting point here as I'm kind of throwing it together after students said there'd be some interest in it. I thought, okay, well, let's start kind of poking around. And this seems like a kind of an obvious first choice.
Does the high school let you do I mean, to pull this all together for the summer might be hard, but does the high school let you go during the school year? I lived overseas, we took trips all
Yeah.
the time, and we would go during the school year. Is that a thing we do here in America?
Not typically
Oh.
a thing that we do here. It's a little tight that way to leave for, 10 days. That's tough. And I know like the Spanish program, they do a trip, and then Rob Butte with social studies, he does a trip, and that's all summer.
Okay.
Summer action. I think maybe one time Spanish might have done a spring break, during spring break trip. But yeah, it's usually a summer deal. Yeah.
We probably have to really look at the logistics of trying to keep your
Yeah.
students together and try to get them on time in the morning when you're going to do your day trip. And
For
then you get
sure.
back.
And what that even would look like, would it be exclusively day trips, or would we maybe go to Munich and hang out for a while, or you go to like Fusen? All that, it's all open. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have the whole crew together versus kind of spread out at different homes. So again, I wanted to check in with you before, and the other thing is, the cost is kind of outrageous for some of those programs. I mean, it's $4,000 sometimes for going through an organization, and the organization, they don't, they kind of call the shots, which, that's totally part of the deal. But doing a kind of a tailored trip where it would be based out of, because it's our sister city and all that, that's a unique experience. I'm not sure that we could do that through. There are all sorts of other issues like insurance, travel insurance, things like that would need to be considered. But I wanted to throw it out just to see where things stand.
Well, we had some commissioners and friends of the commission go to Germany in 2023 and did a tour. We used Joel Meyer locally, and we also had another contact, Wade Olson, and Joe led that. And actually, Joe's there right now, actually with our NARN.
The NARN, yeah.
And that we helped with facilitating a couple details with that with the city of Ulm and Anna Maria, our contact there in Ulm, Germany,
Sure.
for welcome reception and things of that nature, which will be on Wednesday, I think, on the 5th here. It's coming up fast. So, I think, it would be nice maybe if we could get you, Pete, involved with possibly with Joe Meyer to kind of,
Okay.
because he's helped put together many a trip.
Expensive trips. too.
Inexpensive
He does a nice
trips.
job.
You
know-
want to make it affordable, otherwise
Yeah,
people
that's-
can't.
And he does a
it.
good job with that.
Yeah, and I think it would be, start the dialogue with your students and say, we're looking in 2026,
Yeah.
and start budgeting and, saving your funds and how many students are interested. And, there's the logistics of it is it going to be for 24 people or, you never want
And then
to,
the other thing is,
exclude anybody,
parents, are they part of it too? I mean,
Yeah.
I think parents are excellent. I always like them
Yeah,
on
yeah.
trips.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So, I think we've got some contacts that we could definitely share with you.
We'd love to go to the school there. I know there are probably a couple, but a couple of the schools, the gymnasium or whatever, or the Realschule or whatever it is, and that would be a big part of it as well, just to get that that little educational
Yeah,
factor.
so-
But yeah,
But maybe we can reach out to Anna Maria and see if she has any ideas or thoughts that,
Well, and we
in-
have
in Ulm and-
plenty of other contacts,
Yeah, we do.
like Frank Kohler and
Yeah.
Uli
Uli
and
and Holger,
Holger.
we've just awarded with a lovely certificate,
Yeah.
thereby buying their largesse for the rest of our lives, I'm hoping.
we do have contacts
Yeah,
out there.
so, and I,
And we have plenty of our people that have come here that are talking about, they would always open their homes.
sure.
So,
yeah, and like I say, when we were, Jane and I were together on a tour there, and I think it was 2018, and we had a welcome reception in Ulm, and it was excellent.
Yeah, something like that,
And-
right? And then like a little bus
Correct.
thing where we could do tours that way, do the Danube River thing, someone that knows. And all the little day trips they're
Correct.
just awesome.
But, I think my out loud is, using somebody like Joe Meyer that's in the tour business and handling the trip insurance and things like that nature and those details.
Yeah.
And, he tries to put together a full package that could be very informative.
That sounds good.
and
Yeah,
Educational.
great
So-
first.
As far as hosting these, would maybe some of our former people here would like to reciprocate?
We think so.
Keen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
okay. Thank you, Pete.
All right, yeah, good
And
deal.
we'll be in touch.
We will.
And next is going to be, the next meeting be. Thank you. The next meeting will be held on Monday, March 3rd, 2025 at 5:15 at the City Hall Conference Room.
Before we adjourn, I just want to tell you what happened with the certificate. Kathleen, what did we call the certificate? What was it?
It's a certificate of commendation.
It was absolutely wonderful. It was beautifully printed out. So I took, Uli and Holger Tietz Uli is Denny Warda's niece. Anyway, so I took it out to Denny and read it to him and took a picture of him with it so that Holger and Uli would have that. And then this is how much Joe Meyer cares about it. It's the morning that the bus is leaving to go to Minneapolis to fly to Europe, and he calls me in yoga class to ask me, did I get it to somebody, the certificate? He was so worried that I wouldn't have, because he had to get the mayor of Ulm to invite Uli and Holger to the party. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get the certificate, and they wouldn't show up at the mayor's place without a formal invitation. So Joe handled all that for us, which I thought was a really terrific thing. And the fact that he cared about it that much before he had to get on a plane pleased me immensely. So everybody said they'd take pictures for us. So it was a really nice thing we did. And now, like I said, we probably have.
Something that is a little bit different, because I would show up on Kathleen's
Yeah.
doorstep anytime without an invite.
Give me a
but,
certificate, please.
But would the door be unlocked?
okay.
All right. Well, wonderful. And we'll.
Anyway, thank you, Kathleen, for doing that for us.
Yeah,
And
thank
that
you.
was a very nice thing to do.
Yes. A lot of little details that hopefully it's making these special connections more memorable
Exactly.
and strengths. And we'll look for maybe March that we'll get a report back from the NAR and how things went.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any further business? Meeting adjourned.